Hello, hello. Okay, let me get I don't know if I can get this locked in. There we go. Welcome to another week of Friday night drills, and we have a new canvas. We finished the other one. So we are doing chocolate covered strawberries. And you know what? I realized I can see all of, I believe it's S's, all around the outside. But here we are. It's going to be a real struggle. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here. I may have to, let's unlock that. It's going to be a struggle seeing what some of these letters are. I don't know what is about this. I kind of don't know if we should stick with this. How about we give it a try today? And if we are totally on the struggle bus, then we will do, in fact, you know what? We're gonna do another one. So be right back. Okay, we are going to do PaintGem. Let me zoom out a little. I am working on, I think it's the candy, but you can see here, PaintGem. These are the ones I keep in my purse. I have, let's see, okay, I'm gonna zoom you out again. I keep this little kind of bento box in my purse, and it is filled with all the colors, all the supplies, and I love it. I don't know, well, I kind of know how I stumbled on the bento box. I was at Hobby Lobby, and they had some great storage options, and so I bought this, and it's a double pack. Actually, did I get this at Hobby Lobby? I may have gotten it through some sort of subscription box many years ago when those were all the rage. Gotta lay them out. We're gonna decide what we're gonna do here. These are gorgeous. Look at these colors. This is fascinating. Okay, maybe we'll finish this because it looks like I started this. But it's a double level, and I love the little box that PaintGem comes in, and that was just the best storage option. So ever since then, I have kept it a kit in my purse at all times, and I love it. So we are going to work on that. Now that does mean, sorry for the hair that keeps jumping on, that we will be changing out drills more often, so it might be kind of loud and annoying. You know what? Let's see. I'm going to turn that other light on. Hopefully, I don't know if that's going to blow everything out. But yeah, this is fascinating. A rooster on a stick. I don't know that I have seen anything like that. Anyway, it's great to be kind of back on track, on schedule. We did our Bronco, you know what, I'm going to switch. I keep this one in here, but I brought this in, and so I'm going to go ahead and use this. Anyway, we did the Bronco Off-Roadeo in Moab over the weekend. Hang on, gotta find, looking for, I need a 7 and a 4. And it was amazing, like unbelievable. And I am a person who is not a risk taker. Which one did I do? 4. And so I was pretty nervous about this, and I had told myself that I was just going to ride along. I was going to be the passenger, and let my husband drive so he could learn all the cool features in our Bronco. But when I was talking to my coworkers on Friday, one of them said, you know, you will probably not have this opportunity again. They are providing, even though we have a Bronco, they provide the vehicle, which means that it is totally insured. And if there was any damage, that it wasn't to our car. So I decided we're with an instructor. I'm with a bunch of other people who I wasn't sure their experience. In my head, I was thinking they were all going to be very experienced. But at the start, they went around and everybody introduced themselves. So they talked about where they were from and what their off-roading experience was. And it was comforting to hear that maybe half of the attendees, this was going to be their first time. So I was more at ease with that. Boy, there's a difference with doing these, even though I love these. These are my favorite small snack size canvases. Yeah, we're going to be changing colors a lot, so I apologize if it's crunchy. There was a father-daughter pair, which I loved because I went first. So my husband and I split the day. I did the first half, and then we stopped for lunch, and then he did the second half. And I felt totally comfortable just driving to the trails. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this because, you know, we're driving on the road. No big deal. And then we got off the road onto the trail. Obviously, here, let me see if I can. We might just have to go this way. And I wish I had a picture or a video. We got to this really steep, I don't know, ledge, but we were going to be climbing up it. And we were going to learn how to drive with not all four tires on the ground. And he kind of showed us what we were going to do. The person in the front had some experience, so that's, besides the instructor being in the lead car, his passenger or driver, I guess he wouldn't be the passenger because the instructor was the passenger. Anyway, sorry. He went first. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out and watch. And he said, okay, you know, I want you to pull forward some and put your tire up on the middle of this boulder so it would put your back tire up in the air. And I was like, excuse me, we're doing what now? And just kept saying, no, we're not really doing that, right? You're just kidding. And he was like, nope, this is what we are doing. And the first one, I was terrified. I was like, there is no way, because it was super steep. Oh, let me grab that. Super steep. And I didn't think we were going to flip because we weren't, there wasn't a pitch. But yeah, it was crazy. And so we have video of me with the back wheel off the ground and then the front wheel off the ground. And once I did that and realized that this vehicle was built for the things we were going to do, I don't know, I totally relaxed. And the other thing I learned is, for some reason, probably it's a control thing, although I don't feel like I have to have control or be in control. It's much less scary as the driver. And the other thing I learned is it's more bumpy, rocky, rolly in the passenger seat than the driver's seat, which might be why it felt less in control. But once I had been the driver and once I had done all the things, I totally relaxed. And I went back, probably, it must have been over a year ago when we bought the Bronco. We took it on vacation to do what I'm going to say is some off-roading. And I happened to be going through my pictures and videos today on my phone. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go back and look at the things that we did and say, were we ahead of our time? Like, how hard was it? Because my husband asked after, he was like, okay, so the trail we did, and let me tell you, we drove for probably 8 hours. And don't be thinking that was like 60 miles an hour, because it certainly was not. But it was rated a 5, a moderate. And I was cool with that. I thought, okay, I was comfortable. And he said there were bits and pieces that were higher than a 5, but it would just average out overall to a 5. And so I went back, as I said, and found this video and was like, oh my gosh, I had to get out of the car because I was so afraid we were going to roll or damage something or get stuck. And is everybody familiar with a dip in the road? You know, it's got just a little boom, not even a big dip, but just a dip in the road. So when I looked at this video, I don't even know if it would count as a dip in the road. And I could not help but just laugh at myself and think, oh, here I thought, oh, that's gonna roll. I mean, when we were doing this, we were at a pitch of 20 degrees, which is, it's not like up there, but it's enough that I'm looking down at my husband because he is down significantly lower than I am. And that was a pitch. That was something. This, honestly, I just have to, oh no, keep a really good sense of humor with myself and go, that just shows how far I have come. Kind of like with Diamond Art, although that was awful. I hate when that happens because now I've got this putty on there. Oh, well, it's going to be covered, so it's not going to matter. I'm not selling it. It's all for fun. I've given myself grace. I was working as, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I think I have. I love a road trip. I actually posted this last week in my, I think it was my Friday post. It's also your drill instructor on Instagram and Facebook. I love when we do road trips because I totally set myself up in the car and can easily go 10, 12 hours at a stretch without even blinking. I think the longest I've gone is 15 hours. And by then, my thumb was really hurting. The worst injury was when I did 12 to 15 hours a day for a week when we were on vacation. And I think that caused some permanent damage to my thumb. Okay, that was a sidetrack. But now that we have done this, I am so excited. I definitely learned that if we are doing it correctly, I can't diamond art at the same time because things are bouncing and flying around way too much. But, oh, that's what I was saying. So I don't expect everything to be perfectly aligned, because again, I'm not selling these. They're just for me. And I'm definitely not handing them down because my daughter does her own. And hers is so much better than mine. I don't think she, I know that she uses a multi-placer, but I don't think it's a big one. I've seen there's a YouTuber who does, I think it's a 10 placer, might be even a 12 or 14. I cannot do that. It's not my thing. But you know, if it is your thing and if you place perfectly, that's amazing. I don't. And I'm also just like, I do it for the love of it, not to be a pro. I am okay staying at amateur level. But yeah. So I definitely, the drive to Moab was probably 3 hours, 3.5 hours, maybe. On Sunday, when we were coming home, actually before we came home, we decided to go on a trail, and I had a great time. I wasn't worried about anything. And so that probably was a couple hours of exploring, and then we came home. So that was a 3-hour drive, and I loved it. I didn't quite finish the canvas I was working on, but I finished it a day or two after I got home. So yeah, another finish. It was one I had kitted up for the cruise, but I didn't even start. Everything was ready to go. I just wasn't sure how many kits I would do on the cruise, but it was not, let's see, how many did I take? I took 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I took 5 on the cruise with me, and I had them, all kitted up into one larger container that had the Tic Tac boxes in it. And then the others were the Winnie the Pooh small little diamonds, little somethings that Amazon sells. And so those, they maybe have 4 or 5 colors. So I just had those in baggies. and in my accessories box. So that was easy. So I was like, hey, I already have these smaller ones kitted up. They're not this small, but they're probably, I think they're 13 by 13s. And so I just took that. So I got that one done. It's called Peony Etude. And I started the last one that I kitted up. And I can't think of the name right now, but it's a sunflower. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get that done. And then I am just down to the regular 2 or 3 kits that I'm working on. I just can't seem to only have one. I've got to have a square and a round going at the same time, because the square can definitely, especially depending on the confetti level, I sometimes just have to take a break from. I love the one I am working on right now is so beautiful. And for some reason, even though it's I don't know, I don't want to say it's like super confetti heavy, but it definitely has a good mix. It doesn't have many areas of color blocking, but it also isn't like only confetti where you have 2 or 3, maybe if you're lucky. I have had kits like that, and when I finished that, I took a breath, and I think I was 2/3 done with one and had to walk away from it, or I might have just grabbed another, I think it was a Mrs. Butter D kit. I just had to work on that because I couldn't do the other. I don't know if you can hear. The dog is outside barking, having a great time. Hopefully that's not too distracting. But yeah, so I always have a square going and a round going, and then I have one of these that is in my purse. I have had the other that I've been doing on our Friday night drills. And then sometimes, I mean, who knows? I have had others also going at the same time. So yeah, I'm not a only one at a time. That is not who I am. I'm definitely a multitasker in pretty much everything I do. And that's okay. I had somebody ask me if I thought I was maybe ADD. And I was like, I've never thought of it. I just think I enjoy doing all sorts of different things at once. Now, that probably means I'm quite the hobbyist. I do try to just be doing one hobby at a time. But the problem is when I do that hobby, I go whole hog. I am not just dabbling. I go, oh, I love this. I'm going to buy every possible thing there is that goes with this. I don't wait and say, oh, maybe I'll test this first and see if I like it. In fact, I did that with when I first started doing this. I found this company that I loved their style. I loved their kits. But the problem was I did not know that there were different things like double-sided tape and poured glue. I had no idea. And so I bought one. I thought it was super pretty. It was going to take a while for it to come. And I was like, well, I know I'm going to love it. So I'll go ahead and buy 10 more kits or something before I'd even done one. Let me tell you, now that I have been doing this for a while, I have finished probably five of their kits. And they're pretty, but oh, you've got to be confident when you stick that drill down, because with double-sided tape, double-sided adhesive, whatever they call it, I guess I'm your drill instructor, I should probably know. I know I did a post on it. Anyway, once you put it on, there's no sliding it like there is with poured glue. It is stuck. It is on there. So yeah, I've told myself, because I spent the money, I'm going to get them done. It's just, I have to do a couple that I really like, and then I pull one out and go, okay, you've just gotta do it, get through it. And they're not, fortunately, they're not huge. They're 12 by 16s, but they could be 12 by 12s. In fact, I did that with one of the holiday kits I got. I just thought, I can't do this anymore, so I'm going to cut the bottom off. So I made my 12 by 16 a 12 by 12 and was totally content with it. Okay, well, I think I can't see the time that I've spent, but I think we're probably close. I only have a few more colors to do, so we will either come back next time and work on this, or we'll be picking up another one, because I will have finished this during the week. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. I am so glad to have you here with me. I hope all continues to go well. Please feel free to join me every week. I know I'm supposed to say all the subscribe-y things, but you know what? I want you to come and go as you see and are comfortable, and do what makes you happy. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Bye.